Getting Over Your Ex and Finding Love, a guide. Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about getting over your ex and finding new love, and I'm going to guide you through this process. So this could be a video that you could come back to many times over this process of getting over your ex and then trying to find new love. So depending on how long ago the breakup was, you do need a time to heal, to process it, to get over it. You do not want to end up in a rebound relationship and go from one relationship straight into another, because those kinds of relationships rarely work out. And usually if you are going from one relationship straight into another, you haven't had time to get over it. And if you haven't had time to get over it, then you're going to bring all of that old baggage from that old relationship into your new one. So it's best to avoid rebound relationships. I made a video actually on rebound relationships and why those relationships fail. So if you would like to watch that video, then you can do so by clicking on the card here. So how long I think it takes to get over someone, especially if you're in a long-term thing, like if this was just someone you were dating for a few weeks, then you probably don't actually need that much time to heal and get over it. Whereas if it's someone that you broke up with and you've been with for a long time, so let's say like 6 months plus, then it's better to have some time out. I would say roughly around 6 months minimum, to just be by yourself, to enjoy your own company, to kind of figure out basically what happened in the relationship, you know, what you learned from that relationship, and you know what you're going to do moving forward when you go into a new relationship. Because a lot of people, especially if they go into a rebound relationship straight away after a breakup, they haven't learned the lessons, they haven't learned from that relationship, and therefore they're just going to continue to have the same kind of relationships over and over and over again, because they don't take time to reflect. They go from one relationship straight into another. And when you've gone through a breakup and it was with someone long term, who, you know, perhaps even as well, you know, you didn't really want them to break up with you, you do need time to process it, to heal, to get over it, to learn from your mistakes. Because even though you might not have done anything to warrant the breakup happening, there's still some mistakes that you probably made, because we are only human. There's no way that you could have been perfect 100% of the time. There'll probably be some things there that you did that you need to learn about and think about. And usually those are the things that stick out in your brain anyway. Like as I'm saying this to you, you might be thinking of things that you did. And those are the things you kind of need to go over and think about and think, okay, what did I learn about myself in this kind of situation? It might be a good idea to write those kinds of things down. I think journaling and writing down your emotions and your experiences is really beneficial, especially if you do like have questions. You ask yourself questions when you're doing this kind of thing and saying like, what did I learn? You know, how can I improve? How can I make sure this never happens to me again? Like, how am I going to behave in the future? What should I look out for basically when I start dating someone new, to make sure that I don't end up in that same kind of relationship. So it's really important that you take time to heal. If you're enjoying the video so far, then please leave a like on it, and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if there's anything you'd like me to discuss in a future video, then please leave it down in the comments. Thank you so much. So another way they can help you really get over your ex is to stop like reading stuff and watching content on how to get your ex back and things like that. Because if you are still secretly wanting your ex back and you're watching all different kinds of content, reading lots of articles, you know, looking at posts about exes and getting over your, well, not necessarily getting over your ex, but things on like how to get your ex back and things like that. Anything surrounded with like hoping that your ex is going to come back is going to stop you from moving on. So stop watching videos on how to get your ex back and stuff like that. Watch more videos on dating advice, dating tips. I do dating advice videos as well, dating tips videos, but you don't have to watch mine. There are plenty of channels out there that are targeted at people for who are looking to find love. So watch videos on finding love, on dating advice, on, you know, how, what to do on dates, you know, first date ideas and things like that. Focus on those kinds of videos and that kind of content, and steer yourself away from anything about getting your ex back, anything like that, because that's just going to prevent you from moving on. Because we are basically the content and the books and the things that we watch, basically everything you kind of consume, like when it comes to information, like videos like this one, like articles, like books, seminars, anything like that. If it's anything to do with getting your ex back, that's going to start becoming who you are. You're still someone who's not going to be moving on from that kind of situation, because we are what we consume, right? So I highly recommend that you stop doing that kind of thing and watch videos on what you should be doing on, like, moving on and having better dates, how to, you know, better dress on dates, you know, things like that, all about finding new love. And that will really help you get over your ex, because you'll stop basically staying in place and watching and consuming that content on getting your ex back and things like that. It's really important as well that you learn to enjoy your time alone. You got to start learning to not mind being by yourself. And because if you are only happy when you're in a relationship, and you're kind of miserable when you're on your own, you know, it's going to make basically your relationships a huge priority. And of course, you know, your relationship should be a high priority, but it shouldn't be the only priority. You should, you know, do things for yourself as well. You should take care of yourself. You should enjoy being alone. You know, find a way to use your alone time productively in a way that you enjoy. So personally for me, you know, when I wasn't working and when I wasn't, but basically when I wasn't busy and I had free time before I got into my relationship, I would do things that I enjoyed doing. I liked being alone, basically. I liked reading my books, watching seminars by people like Dr. Wayne Dyer and Jim Rohn and Anthony Robbins, you know, loads and loads of things like that. Like, I enjoyed being alone because that means I got to do the stuff that I wanted to do. So as long as you are enjoying your alone time and you actually don't mind it, that's going to really help when you do get into a relationship, because you know, and you kind of have this essence of like, if this doesn't work out, if this person leaves me, if this person makes me dump them because they've done something bad, it doesn't matter that much, because I do actually enjoy being on my own. Like, I can find a way to enjoy myself. I've got hobbies, I've got things I'm interested in, I've got ways that I can pass the time in a way that makes me feel good about myself, right? But if your whole focus is on your relationship, and your relationship is like one of the, you know, one of like the main things in your life, and, you know, you feel miserable when you're alone and you can't be alone, then it's going to be really difficult moving on from that person. You need to enjoy being alone and finding ways to enjoy your time when you're alone. Because if you don't and you hate being alone, you could force yourself into a relationship you don't actually want to be in, or you could mope over your ex and feel sad and miserable with your life. You need to find a way to enjoy it when you're alone. And when you do get into a relationship, you're not going to feel as attached, and it's not going to be such a be-all, end-all kind of dramatic moment if they do break up with you, or if you decide to break up with them. So when you go to find new romantic prospects then, because obviously a part of this video is about finding new love, you know, what are you interested in? Because there might be some events close by to you, or some groups that you could join to actually meet new people, especially if you do prefer to meet people in a physical environment and you don't want to meet them online and you don't want to do the online dating thing. I personally think it's best to do both of those things simultaneously, like to have online dating profiles and to be going out and meeting new people. So, for example, you know, there was a time when I went to a film premiere of an LGBT movie, and it was very easy for me to strike up conversations with people in the lobby before the movie premiere, because I had so much in common with everybody there. Like, other people there were obviously LGBT, other people there were also really interested in seeing that movie. We knew a lot about the director, we knew a lot about the actors that were in it, so it was very easy to just go. And a lot of the people that were there were in my age range at that time, because I was about 24, 25, and a lot of the people there as well were also around that age range, and we all had the same interest. We all came to see that movie, so it was so easy to talk to people there. So if you go to events and you go to places that you enjoy, that you know a lot about, it's very easy to strike up conversations with people and to meet new friends, and obviously perhaps even new romantic prospects. Now, it's probably going to be a lot easier to make new friends at those places than meeting someone who you could be in a relationship with, but it does help. Like if you keep on going to those places, if you keep on going to like an event like that every month or every 2 months, eventually, if you keep on doing that for ages, you will actually come into contact with someone who probably will like you in that way, and you can have a relationship with them. But you gotta have places that you go to that you enjoy, that you can, because it's really difficult to meet people out that say like at a club, you know, when it's like there's like loud music and you don't really know what they're even looking for, and things like that, and you can't, it's really difficult to make a conversation because there's nothing there in common, right? It might be the fact that maybe they've got the same kind of drink as you or something, but there's only so much you can talk about a drink. Whereas if you go to an event that you know a lot about, like for example for me, I knew a lot about that film, so it was very easy to talk about the directors, the actors in it and stuff like that. You know, it was so much easier to do that, whereas at a club, it's difficult to do that because there's not much you can find in common unless you really kind of fish for it, but still, it's difficult. Whereas if you're in an environment that you are already interested in, it's so much easier to talk to people that like the same kind of stuff as you. It's really, really, really easy. So, you know, what are that for you? You know, because you might not have the same kind of interests as what I do. Perhaps you like comic books. So you go to like a Comic Con or something like that. Or it could be like a film premiere of something that's kind of like special that you go to. Or it could be perhaps you really like running and you go on marathons. Like it's really easy to talk to people like before and end at the end of the race, or when you're running along, you can talk to people. You know, there's lots of ways that you can meet people, and in places that you find particularly interesting. You know, you might really like art and you go to like a specific, like, let's say you like an artist, like a specific artist, and they've got kind of like a show going on, like a showcase of their art. You can go there and you can talk to people about it there. You know, there's lots of things you can do. If you just got to do a little bit of thinking out of the box and a little bit of research to find these groups, to find these events, so you can meet someone and start making new friends as well, because that's a new possibility as well. You could make new friends that way. You don't have to just be always trying to find someone to settle down with. It can be a multiple kind of experience where you're making new friends and you could potentially be finding someone to spend the rest of your life with. So also as well, online dating is a good way as well. That's probably one of the most efficient ways of doing it, because most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, people who are on online dating websites are trying to find love. Not all the time, again, like I said, but the general rule, if you're on a dating website, you are looking for something romantic. It might just not be the kind of romance that you're looking for. So it's important then to understand that finding love is a process. It may take some time. You might not, I think I was single for a good 2 or 3 years before I met my wife, and I was going on different dates trying to find the right person for me. You know, some people might be luckier than that and find someone quicker, and some people might even be longer than it took for me, right? So you need to understand that it is a process and it may take time, but as long as you don't give up and you keep on going, and you, because that's something I see people do. You know, they talk to like one person or 2 people during the year, and then those kinds of things, those 2 people fizzle out, and then they just give up on themselves, right? And it's like, why? Like, why give up so soon? Why only give it that so many little chances? You know, keep on dating, keep on using the dating websites, keep on going through it. You know, you got to treat dating like a numbers game. You got to get through perhaps a lot of people in order to find that one person who you really like and they really like you as well. Because it might be the case that you go on a date with someone and they really like you, but you don't really like them, or you really like them, but they don't like you that much, or you really like them, but you find out that they're kind of got a lot of issues in areas that you can't really tolerate. So let's say you meet someone who you think is really gorgeous, but then you discover that they've cheated on most of the partners that they've ever had, and you're like, well, I don't want to be with someone who's a cheater. So you're like, well, I really think they're great and I really think they're hot, but obviously this is someone who hasn't got that much integrity, so I can't be with them. You know, so there's also these kinds of different variables. And you obviously you don't want to be lazy. You want to find the right partner. You want to find someone who's actually good. You don't want to end up with someone who, you know, doesn't have the same kind of values and lifestyle as you do, because that could end up being miserable, and that's a mistake I made. So make sure you meet someone who, you know, you really like, they really like you as well, and they kind of tick all the boxes. And sometimes when you start dating someone, they seem amazing to begin with, and then when you start living with them, or when you start spending more and more time with them, you start to see a lot of red flags, and they start bringing out other sides of them, because you don't really know who someone is until you spent a lot of time with them. So you might have had an amazing first date, you might have had amazing dates for like a good couple of months, and then you start seeing the real person and realize that this is not the one for you. And then you're like, oh damn it, I've got to go back to the drawing board, got to break up with them, got to, you know, go back on my dating websites and start all over again. It's a process, it's annoying, it takes time, and it takes patience, but if you keep on doing it and you keep on going through the numbers, keep on dating, never giving up, you will eventually find someone. And it's as simple as that. It's just a bit of a long drawn out process, but you've got to be patient. And that's pretty much it. Pretty much with everything in life, you have to be patient, you know. If you're starting a YouTube channel, you have to be patient. That's something that I realized. I thought that I could easily get like loads and loads of subscribers, loads and loads of views pretty easily, but that turned out not to be the case. Like, it's taking a lot of time just to get to like something like 50 views a day on new videos and stuff. Like, it's a process, it takes time, right? And it's the same with dating. It's a process, it takes time. Like, you're not going to get instant results. Sometimes you might, luckily. Sometimes it may happen, but more often than not, it's a patience game. So you just need to keep on going, keep on dating. You know, let's say like at least 2 dates a month. See if you can get at least 2 dates a month. Aim for that. Keep on doing it, keep on at it, and eventually you will find someone who likes you and you like them, and they tick all the boxes. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye, guys.